Welcome back to this Education Spotlight special as we turn now to school security.
Indiana school districts are ramping up their school security systems after a string of mass shootings all around the country, including the one in Uvalde, Texas. But how do you balance security with mental health? IT-Mate's Jasmine Miner digs into the challenge for students.
Across the board, from those I talked to, there is growing concern that even just being on a playground as a kid, even within school walls, just isn't safe anymore. In fact, one school resource officer tells me he's got elementary kids coming up to him asking, "Will you keep me safe from a mass shooter?" It's all about the upgrades.
A person doesn't need a key anymore. They'll be able to just push on a sensor and open the door.
Oh, okay.
And so, one of the things that people often talk about is having to fumble with the key to lock the door if there's a situation.
But even with some of the more obvious features like cameras or sensors,
There were things that you did not see and you would not know to see.
it doesn't stop there. Wayne Township Superintendent Dr. Jeff Butt says they were able to get a $100,000 grant from the state for school safety resources.
Hardening of schools is not the best expenditure of the resources that we have, and does not provide the greatest safety increase.
He says it's a helpful start, but technology is only one part of it.
Will you help me? Will you protect me? Will you make sure that no one hurts me? That is the conversation, especially when you start talking about, elementary school age kids.
For John Akers, a school resource officer at the Genius School and a man who has spent 26 years protecting and serving the community, he says in general, more schools need heightened security, but
I think cameras and those type of things, yes, we need those. But if I got to choose between the two, I'm going to invest in my child because that camera is going to need to be upgraded in 3 years.
it's mental health resources for kids that are more important to him in order to change the narrative of mass shootings in the long run. Still, the more immediate solution is more difficult.
How do you manage that need, that grief of why can't you fix it?
The answer to the question, why can't you fix it, is because it's always changing. That is why we as law enforcement are always training, always preparing for what's next.
When you walk into a different building versus like you walk in like it's colorful. It's
Right.
like, oh, this is great.
Over at Phalen Academy, Principal Jabaris Carrion says after the Uvalde shooting, they've often encouraged teachers to keep rooms colorful, happy, so kids remember the fun over the fear.
Once a quarter, we're just always looking. It may not be many changes every quarter, but there is just a process of looking to ensure that our buildings are safe.
Every few months, the principal says they reevaluate their current security.
You're able to look around and see there's visibility into every classroom and every hallway. It's been a heartstring, right? It pulls on your heartstrings. It's a daily reminder to just continue to push for the right thing.
How do we overcome the fear of what could happen?
I don't know. I don't have a solid answer for that. What I can say is that police officers that are passionate about their job and choose this profession, we run to the fear. We run into the fire. We run into the chaos. If that's not what you're ready to do, it's going to be difficult.
Well, I talked to the administrators about the secondary trauma that can come from kids just being aware of mass shootings from afar. Wayne Township tells me they have something called an impact period. They stay with the same teacher throughout their entire high school career, and then they use this period to have some of these conversations, seek support, and even counseling. I'm Jasmine Miner for Wish TV, IT Mate.